everybody, it's your girl Marielle. Welcome back to my channel, Friday Night Light Review, where we do reviews and reactions to TV shows, movies, and other digital content. So you already know what I'm going to say. So please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Become a part of the fam. Welcome back to all of my subbies. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and helping me reach that mark of 100 subscribers. And if you are new here and you're watching it anyway, you might as well go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. You can also follow me on my other social media accounts. Those will be in the description bar below. Also, I will put the link into the last video that we did a reaction to, which was the reboot to Mortal Kombat. Definitely check that out. It'll be in the description bar below or somewhere up here. Also, don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Tell them about the channel. Let them become a part of the Friday Night Light Reviews family, you know. So the movie that we're going to be reacting to today is the action-packed Amazon original Without Remorse, starring Michael B. Jordan and Jodie Turner-Smith and Jamie Bell and Lauren London, which was a great surprise. So Without Remorse is about Michael B. Jordan, Navy SEAL, special op elite Navy SEAL, who is seeking justice for the murder of his wife, who's played by Lauren London, and their unborn child. And within the midst of all of that, he uncovers this covert operation to bring war against, well, not against, but to bring a war starting with the United States and Russia. So let's get into the review. So before we go any further, let me just stop there. This is a side note and I'm sorry. So the movie is, the screenplay is done by Taylor Sheridan, who is known for Sicario, so you can already tell what's going to happen. It's directed by Stefano Salimo, and it's produced also by Michael B. Jordan and John Applebaum, which I think is so good. Another side note is that Michael B. Jordan actually sent this script to Lauren London, trying to see, you know, get her back in the game or whatever. And initially she said no because, you know, I'm still dealing with, you know, my kids and the loss of the love of my life. And I'm just trying to get my life and work in order. And I just don't want to add anything else on my plate. But she was sent the script. And as she was reading the script, she said that she felt a connection to the character John Kelly, which is played by Michael B. Jordan. And she found that connection because he's also trying to find a way to walk in this world without the most powerful thing he had close to him, which was his wife and his unborn child. And she knows what that feels like, losing the love of her life, Nipsey Hussle. So it definitely made her change her mind into agreeing to be a part of this project because she did feel that connection. And there's a part in the movie where we all know that she passes away because of the trailer. But another reason why she took on this role is because there's a couple of scenes that we'll talk about a little bit later that kind of made her have that parallel feeling and how she feels about the passing and what her life is like without Nipsey Hussle. So we'll talk about that later in this video. So if you weren't excited for it, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm always excited for an action-packed movie, especially military, if it's done correctly, because we already know there are some trash military movies out there. Those shall remain nameless. But some great ones is like 13 Hours, Shooter, Navy SEALs, Saving Private Ryan, The Red Line. I mean, the list can go on. But anyway, I love this movie. It was full of action. I'm talking about from start to finish. It does not disappoint on that front. So right out the gate, the movie gave me Navy SEAL vibes. Especially the beginning of the movie, we see Michael B. Jordan snatch the dude into the water and we see him pop back up. That was a prominent scene in Navy SEALs. It's a 1990 movie starring Charlie Sheen and a guy from the Allstate commercial, Don't Come At Me. I don't know what his real name is. Y'all can tell me in the comment section below. But it definitely did give me that that field. And like I said, you know, John Kelly is played by Michael B. Jordan. Pam, his wife, is played by Lauren London. And the commanding officer, Greer, is played by Jodie Turner-Smith. And the right-hand man who oversees all the missions is played, his name is Ritter, is played by Jamie Bell. So right out, Michael B. Jordan was great. His facial expressions, when he was angry, when he was sad, I mean, it was all great. And I know we wasn't going to expect anything less. I mean, look at him. He did Creed 2, Fruitvale Station, Killmonger, which is another thing that I'm going to talk about and we're going to see a little bit down the line, right? So the scenes with him and Lauren London were dope. Even though they were short, and this is when I was talking about how she said she felt like this parallel. So she does die. We know that. There's a scene that they shoot with him when he goes back and he's reminiscing of just being with her. And they're in like this woods area and they're kissing and they're hugging. And then they start to hear this noise or whatever. And then she's just ripped from him. And the way that scene was done, it was so freaking amazing. You know, it was like a dance, you know, to me. Like she was just pulled into like the darkness and she just disappeared and he woke up. You know, this is just him missing her. And so I understand when Lauren London said that's that parallel. Like she feels every day she walks, every time she wakes up, she feels Nipsey with her always. And that's what Michael B. Jordan's character was feeling all through this movie with the passing of his wife. So I thought that was great. So with that being said, him being a Navy SEAL, special ops, elite, everything like that, there are some rumors. And it could be that we're all Marvel scatterbrained coming off the series finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There's rumors that this could be the origin story of Killmonger from Black Panther. Now, we all know it don't really go too far into what he did in Black Panther. We just know he was Navy SEAL Special Ops. Navy SEAL Special Ops. But I don't know. Like I said, we could be Marvel scatterbrained coming off that amazing ending. But the action scenes were great. Not overdone. And when I mean not overdone, they weren't too gruesome where it's like, okay, we really don't think that's really what's happening on the battlefields of military. We know bad shit and crazy shit happens, but it wasn't like that kind of scary movie overkill. It was just done right. And I know we can't really expect anything less from Taylor Sheridan. Again, go check out Sicario and you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, I will say this is kind of a con, but I'm going to give it a little positive twist, all right? So you didn't know what was coming next. You knew what was going to happen. But I will say that the anticipation of knowing what was coming next was worth it. So yes, it is a con, but like I said, it's got a little positive twist at the end. Yes, through the movie, you know what scenes is coming next. We know what action scenes is coming next. We know what dialogue is coming next. And I know that can be a con, but to me, the anticipation for each scene was great. So, I mean, you take the good with the bad. That's just how I see it. There was this line that Michael B. Jordan said so before I do that, so the scene that we're just going to talk about in a second, this is the setup for it. That whole Lauren London and Michael B. Jordan scene that I told you about in the woods, he wakes up, he's drinking vodka, he's pouring it all over him. It low-key kind of looks like he's going to try to commit suicide and like light himself on fire. But we know that's not the case. He found out some information about the people that came to his house, the Russian's name and everything. So he's looking for man number 4. So he gets his name. He is driving a tow truck. He smashes into the car of this Russian elite person and pours gasoline over everything and lights that bitch up. Gets in the car and is like, yo, you know who I am? I'm John Kelly. You killed my wife. Her name is Pam, and you're gonna say her name before you die. So he shoots him in the leg and he goes, tell me. He was like, I know who you are. You're John Kelly. You weren't supposed to live. You were supposed to die. You bring death with you wherever you go. Boom, he shoots him. He's like, yeah, I shot you in your lung. You're gasping for air now. That's what my wife felt. And then he said, tell me the name. And he gives him the name. And then he shoots him. So this leads up to this next scene that I'm talking about, which carried out a great line. He was in jail. He got what he needed. He knew he was going to jail. He was prepared for it. They put him in a Russian mob jail. So everybody there, the guards, everything, Russian. So we already know he's probably going to get his ass beat or somebody going to try to put hands on him and all of that. And him and Greer talking, and he was like, I'm tired of doing it your way. I served my time. I sacrificed everything. I lost my wife and my daughter for fighting for America. I swore an oath to uphold, and I did my part, and y'all basically screwed me. And she was like, but that's what we signed up for. We fighting for America. He was like, no, we're fighting for the America that it should be. And I was like, yo, that's a dope ass line. Normally that line, that feeling is portrayed in the movie through scenes and everything like that. So for it to be said, I thought it was a great line, and that was probably one of my favorite lines next to the whole kind of like Liam Neeson Taken, because those scenes kind of gave me that vibe when he kept saying, you killed my wife's name is Pam, you're going to say her name before she dies. It kind of gave me that feel, which those two lines were great. I do think that Michael B. Jordan carried this film. His acting skills was great. The fighting scenes that he was involved in, which was every part of this movie, which was awesome, he did amazing in. I guess another con would be, I think if he wasn't in this movie, or if he died in a certain part of this movie, it kind of just would have went super, super downhill. He carried it with his acting skills, with his fighting scenes, facial expressions. I mean, he really carried this film. The action was through and through, but it wasn't redundant. It wasn't like, okay, fighting scene, he's going to kill a guy, he's going to get beat up a little bit, and da-da-da-da-da-da. It wasn't redundant, and I think that's a huge pro for this, because I know in a lot of military scenes, the most redundant scene is the super soldier kicking ass, gets beat up a little bit, gets saved, da-da-da-da. So I felt like it wasn't like that. I mean, the action, like I said, was through and through. We knew where the plot was going from beginning. Revenge, do the job. If he dies, I don't care if I die, because I get to be with my wife and my kid. Or I live and I'm spearheading just for justice. I'm just killing everybody that's fucking crooked. So we knew where the plot was going, and it wasn't a bad thing, because the way the action scenes moved, like the movement of the scenes, really made up for it. There's a scene that I definitely didn't expect. It's where we come closer to the end. So Michael B. Jordan does find out that he was going for the wrong guy. The part where he said, I'm a pawn and I'm about to kill the king. So when he finds the fourth guy, the guy got a bomb strapped to his chest and everything like that. And he was like, I work for the CIA. Did they tell you that? We're just pawns. It goes all the way up to DC. We can't kill the king because it's just too big. And he fucking blows himself up, which was mind-blowing. And I didn't really expect that to happen. Obviously, I knew there was a frame up, especially in the very beginning where the guy looked at the other guy and he shot himself because he knew he needed to be a dead Russian on U.S. soil, right? So we already knew it was a frame up. I hope y'all knew it was a frame up, because I knew it was a frame up. That's the Leo talking. I'm sorry. And that's how he finds out, like, holy shit, like, me and this fourth guy, it was basically to kill the whole team that went to the first mission in the very beginning of the movie, where they was lied to right out the gate. He was already Russian. There was already intel. There was already weapons. They were already lied to. So we already knew it was going to be a frame up. So you fast forward, he was like, yo, you were supposed to die. All of y'all was supposed to die. So that's why when that Russian guy, Elite, said you carry death wherever you go because you just won't die. And he was like, yo, this was meant to happen. Me and you, we were supposed to meet up. And this was supposed to happen. And we just got to play our part. And Michael B. Jordan refused to accept that. And then here comes Ritter, played by Jamie Bell. It was like, look, it was a setup. This was supposed to start a war. The guy that I talked about in the beginning, he killed himself so he can be a Russian found on U.S. soil. Y'all was supposed to die when we shot down the plane to have U.S. military found on Russian soil so a war can start. It goes all the way up to the top like we all knew. So everybody survives except one, and it was super sad. And it's always sad in a military movie where a guy dies because he has the wife and he has the kids, and everybody's upset because they sacrificed this another mission for bullshit, you know? So they're on the boat, and Ritter says to Michael B. Jordan, you know, y'all get to go home, whatever. I go back to jail, and I just serve my country again. Yes, was out the gate was to get revenge for the death of my family, but this I still get rewarded with jail. So Ritter says, there's a bag of money below. Take it, disappear. We'll just say you didn't survive the mission. You can be a ghost. And he was like, okay, I judged you wrongfully. He didn't say sorry. Nobody said sorry, but that's man shit. He said, so I'm just going to be a ghost so we can find out how high this goes up. So, which I thought was a nice segue to a possibility of a sequel to this movie. Another scene that I did not expect to come up. So where I said the nice segue to the sequel, where he was like, I can be a ghost and we can find out where this goes. They find out it goes all the way up to the top to the Secretary of Defense. He's drinking. He goes into this bathroom and he kind of plays him out like he's this rogue, crazy military guy. But he knew what it was. He was like, nothing surprises me because we do dirt. I can't be surprised when we out here doing dirt. So he straight puts him in a chokehold, says night night to him. They're in the car and he goes, why'd you do it? And at first he wasn't going to say shit. He said, you see this GPS? It's on the way to your house in Virginia where your wife is, your daughter is coming back from college, and your son. I will kill all these motherfuckers in front of you so you know how it feels to lose your family. I ain't got no problems because ain't nowhere else for me to go but down. So he starts monologuing, telling him this bullshit like, you know, we all know it's always one of the things in military movies. War brings money. And the Soviet Union was our best supplier. So why not basically start a war with him? And he was like, you killed my family. Her name was Pam. You're going to say her name before you die. And then out of the blue, this dude just jerks the truck, goes off into the water all the way down. He kills, the guy drowns. That's it. He's dead. He was like, I can't let you live. Then Michael B. Jordan kind of like is falling into this darkness because he's about to die. Here's another dope scene with Lauren London and him. And he goes, is this heaven? And, you know, that whole spiel, I'm not going to go into it. But it was a great scene. I thought it was a different way to interpret people seeing their loved ones once they're gone. And I just thought it was a great scene. And, you know, at the end, they have the funeral for him. And he goes from John Kelly to John Clark. Again, a great segue to the sequel. So you guys, that rounds out the end of this reaction, this review. I really hope you guys enjoy it. Definitely go watch Without Remorse on Amazon. It premieres today. It's a worthy movie. It's a popcorn worthy movie that you're definitely going to be talking about to someone else. You're going to say, yo, did you watch that movie? I think Michael B. Jordan did his thing and he was amazing in it. So out of 5 stars, I'm giving it a 4.5. I can't really give it a 5 because like I said, there was some cons as far as knowing what's going to happen next. So I got to take, you know, whatever. But at the end of it, I thought it was a great movie. You definitely should check it out. So here's the end, guys. The next movie that I'm going to be doing is called The Words on a Bathroom Wall. Look for that. As always, be safe, be courageous, and I'll see you on the next one.